Hey, I may not look like it, but I know a little bit about what I'm doing, so. Well, I know enough that when the video's over, I'm supposed to come up here. I do know that. But I appreciate it. Good? All right. Y'all ready to answer some questions? I'm expecting some good stuff here. Y'all seem fired up. I can tell by that clap y'all just did. Oh, that was rough. All right. What stood out to you from the video? All right, we got it. There we go. He is fired up.
Don't take anything for granted because it could be gone in a second.
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
That was deep as snot. That was really deep, you know, and I picked up on it in the very beginning. What good comes out of mourning or sadness or tragedy is that you are at your weakest moment.
Yes.
And that is the prime time. The doors are open and God can come in and just show you all his glory and lift you up. And it's such an amazing story. I love that so much. Thanks.
Thank you, Anita. They just hand you the mic now, right? It's just like, I know Dave wants to say something.
No, I played ball all growing up, and I got kicked off the team my senior year, like a week before districts. It was a bad deal, so it was kind of like the start of my spiral out. So I could just, you know, knowing now, I should have turned to God, but I didn't, and yeah.
What you have now, all right?
Oh yeah.
Better late than never.
Yeah, took me
What'd you get kicked off for?
felony.
What? Come on, elaborate. What'd you?
I messed up a golf green one time with me and my buddy.
That's a felony for that?
Golf greens are not cheap. When you,
I messed up mine. That's what that. Thank God I didn't get caught. I didn't know that was a felony. All right, I got you. Right on.
So his story was very personal to me because I literally just went through that the last year.
Right.
You know, I was here for about a year and a half, but my job was my life. It was my career. Not only did I love it, but I loved to go. Even if I wasn't going to make money, I'd still love to do what I did. Like, I put that above everything else.
Wow.
I got hurt, and it literally sat me still, and it's still setting me still to this day. But I was straying away from God then. And then I felt like, because I'm so stubborn, I feel like that was his way of
setting you down.
Yeah, literally like smacking me, going, "You're gonna listen."
Absolutely.
But it's been the biggest blessing I've ever had in my life. I have never felt closer to God. I've never had the feeling of peace like I have over the last 9 months. A close relationships I get with other people. I learn more about God every day, and it's just been a total blessing to me. So I totally understand how he feels about that.
Yeah. Sometimes we put things before God, and sometimes he takes it away to wake us up.
Piggybacking off what Anita said, I think it's really important for you to fill that dark spot, the void with God when you're at your weakest, because if not, Satan's going to jump in and take that spot before you realize it.
Yeah. Jay back there in the booth.
All right. So whenever he was talking about how he would pray, like, God, do this for me, get me back in my will, I related a lot to that because I mean, a lot of us can probably relate to that, but especially like, remind me like going to jail. I'd be like, you pray, God to get you out of there, especially like being dope sick or anything, just to get back out to the street to do your own thing. But I'm done.
Foxhole prayers. Hey, God, this is what I want to do. I need you to bless it. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I can relate because I was in Corps 10 years ago, and I was here for 18 months. and I started playing in the church band. I've been playing drums since I was like 7 years old, so it's been a huge part of my life, my whole life. And so when I was in corps last time, I finally got in the church band, right? And so I played for like 3 years there. And I was doing dope. Like when I left corps, I didn't work any steps or anything. I just manipulated and did what I wanted to do. And so I went back out there and I was getting high. I would come to church every week, dude. Freaking gacked out, bro. Everybody's looking at me, bro. I know, all this shit that goes on in your head when you're on dope. And I'm like, they all know, bro. They all know. And eventually because of the guilt and the shame and all that, man, I eventually, just stopped coming, stopped showing up. And that's when Jim became drummer. And so I ran for 3 more years on dope and all that. And then when I came back this time, I knew, because BJ's always been the leader of the band and all that. And so I was just like, well, got to be here for 4 months to play in the band. I just knew on my 120th day I was going to be right back in the band. And you know what I mean? And after 120 days, didn't get to play. A year goes by, I still didn't play. 2 years go by, I still didn't in the band. And I'm like, week after week after week, I got to sit right there. Now I got some good worship time in, but basically what I learned was God was setting me down and shutting me up and saying, look, I don't need your butt to be in this band for it to work. You know what I'm saying? And he humbled me. And I just sat there for like 2.5 years, not getting to play week after week, watching them do their thing, not getting up there. And eventually BJ called me up there and I got to start playing. I've been playing ever since, but it's been like 3 years now. And so I cherish it more. I appreciate it. I'm humble. I know it ain't about me, and I know God don't need me for the band to work. And so that I can relate with that, with the story. So anyways, glad to be up here. All right. So Landry, the basketball player, he shared that when his basketball career was prosperous, God was distant and transactional. He also said that when he was offered a very high contract, he believed he was in favor with the Lord. How have you either seen or experienced success deceive people when it comes to their standing with God? How have you seen or experienced success deceive people when it comes to their standing with God? Got it? Okay. I'm not gonna read the whole thing again. All right. So when he was doing good, he felt like he was in favor with the Lord. Now, how have you either seen or experienced success deceive people when it comes to their standing with God?
Some of these mega churches.
Some mega churches? Yeah. Yeah.
I think we see it here a lot. People will come in and, when they're in my office, they're 100% alcoholic and they need God and they love God and God brought them here and they're blessed to be here, this and that, and as time goes on, and I think me and you have talked about this too, but as time goes on, it's like they get a job. It's like, well, I'm only like 80% alcoholic and I don't really need God that much, and
Right.
And then they get a car and they're like, well, I'm like 50% alcoholic, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really, like church once a month is good. And then they get a girl, and it's that.
Oh,
it's a wrap.
man,
It's done.
they got a new God, don't
Hey,
they?
listen, God wouldn't have put her in here if He didn't want me to be with her. So that's my new God, and that's how it goes, And
It does.
And we see it all the time, and
All
we
the
see
time.
it developing. And they'll do so good their first 4 or 5 months, man. And you try to encourage them to get back on it and remember why they're here and how they felt when they got here, of the blessing that it was, and try to encourage them to keep coming to church and things like that. But I think us as staff, we watch it all the time.
God,
Leaders
yeah.
in the program, we see it all the time with the people in our houses and stuff like that. But.
Yeah. Yeah, when you ain't got nothing and you're at your bottom, is like, I'm ready, I'm on fire. And then when things start going back into your life, the first thing that starts going out is God, because I got this. I got the job. I bought the car. Shit, I don't need God. You tried, didn't you? Here we go. Glad you're back, friend. I mean, under the circumstances, right?
Well, I experienced a lot of success outside of here, and but there was just something missing. You know what I mean? Like, I had major success out there. Like, I had a really good job. I had a second job that paid my rent, and the thing that stood out to me in that series was like everything was great. Everything is great. But it's not. Like I was missing something. And just getting back here, like just getting back here means something, like it's not about what I had out there, I was doing great. I was doing great, but like I didn't have the family. I didn't have the community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so,
Do you think you got away from doing what you was doing when you was here?
yes.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't struggling, I have plenty of money. Everything was going the way it should have went, but
That's not fulfilling.
no, I was missing something.
Yeah. Well, you got an opportunity to find it again. There's a lot of people that don't make it back. You know what I'm saying? You're alive, you're healthy. We still love you. So, I mean, shit, could be worse. You know what I'm saying? So, glad you're back, man. Thanks for sharing. See? That's what you were missing? Us. It had nothing to do with God. You was missing us. No. This program is not for people who want it, because there's people in this room right now who really want this but won't get it. This program ain't for people who need it. There's people in this room who desperately need it but won't get it. It's for people who do it. And if you want it, you freaking do it, and you'll get it, man. Promise you. Somebody else had something? Right here.
I was just going to share yesterday. So I got a job last week, and I just had this rush of just like, yay, God's doing something for me. He brought me back into a career that I lost. I had 9 successful years in a salon, opened a salon, ran a salon, was kind of like a closet tweaker, going to work high.
Yeah.
And I kind of used religion and like my background in church, and then I kind of like used that to tear everything apart. And I've been in this insane cycle in my brain with God and religion and spirituality and just being like comfortable in my own skin. And so it seems like this daily struggle, I get a little bit and I celebrate and I feel good, and maybe that lasts 48 hours. And then yesterday I'm here at the center, and I had a little space. I went up to the little awning or porch thing up here and sat down and did a little Bible study and did some step work and felt like I really had, even texted a couple of people like, oh, I'm so grateful I had some space. God gave me a little time to have some space to sit down. And then today it was just like slammed right back down. Well, now I'm here at the center all day and I'm ungrateful. And so, yeah, just the inconsistencies and being able to like see our behavior, recognize our behavior, and turn that over to God and not allow some past idea of what God is to like distort that minute by minute has been a struggle for me. So
Yeah. You know what they call that? Discontentment. Restless, irritable, and discontentment, which is the shine wears off of everything, man. I'm the same. I used to be the same way, like, oh, man, I'm going to get this, and it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. That sucks. Freaking, oh, this is it. I like this right here. This is awesome. It's going to be, oh, that sucks, dude. And it's just like, I can't be satisfied for nothing, dude. And so that's the discontentment part, man. Yeah. You'll
Okay,
get there.
so like my whole life, I've always felt like I found favor with God. When I first got out of high school, I worked in nuclear power plants. I made really good money. And then I started driving trucks and I made really good money, and during all that, I lost my wife in my relationship there. And so I was like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? It's like, because I keep asking for all these the blessings, and God would deliver good and bad, whether I need it or not. He was going to give it to me because he's generous, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what I found now is that I'm just asking for the discipline to keep what he has given me and the wisdom to know the difference, and so that's where my prayers change. Is like I'm realizing that it's not about the blessings, because, man, he's going to give it to you whether you're going to keep it and throw it away or whether you're going to use it for what he's supposed to. So now I just try to do everything I can for his benefit.
There you go, man. Well said. Yeah, so God already has a blessing prepared for all of us. Usually he's not preparing the blessing, he's preparing us for the blessing, so when we get it, we don't screw it up again. You know what I mean? It's like a kid. If you had a 6-year-old kid and you gave him the car keys, well, the car's a blessing, right? Getting to drive down the road's a blessing, but you gave the blessing to him too soon. You wait till the same kid's 16 or 17, you give him that same blessing, he's ready for it, and he doesn't mess it up. So it's kind of the same way, man. God's just preparing us. Go ahead.
I walked away from pastoring a church to get on a tour bus to play music, and I hurt and disappointed everyone in my life.
Now, say it again. You left a...
I was a senior pastor at a church, grew up in church as a preacher's kid, but I, like you, started playing music. My mom was worship leader my whole life, and I walked away from all that to get back on a tour bus and play music in all the wrong places.
I got you.
And I severed the relationship with everyone in my life.
Right. Yeah.
I think just kind of piggyback off of like what everybody's been saying. So for myself, like I really haven't had like a really like high peak in my life where I've been like super successful or just like kind of happy with where my life was at. Like I've always kind of really struggled. Even like through my childhood, I struggled financially. We were poor growing up. My mom was a drug addict. But I think that my blessing in that would be like the understanding that I have for people that do struggle, and I think that is like, not to understand people is something that like I would be devastated if I didn't have, being able to like have compassion and empathy for others that are going through struggles that you have. I think that being able to talk with other people and give back what that is the biggest blessing that God has given me so far. It isn't financial freedom. It isn't a car. It isn't a house. There is nothing materialistic that I could give myself that would make me happy more than that.
Right, and that's great. I mean, that's very needed, man, that you can comfort people because you've been where they've been or you're at where they're at and you understand them, and absolutely. That's more important than money anyways, for sure. Anybody else? All right, then. About out of time. Who wants to pray us out? There you go. Oh, he's got it.
Dear God, I want you to watch over everybody tonight. Lead us home safely. Let all the houses get to where they need to go. Let us know that we're not broken anymore, that we can be fixed. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen. Thank y'all for sharing.